Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me again. I haven't recorded for quite a while videos, but today there was some story. You see video unavailable. I will explain you now what is it. And in general, yeah, this whole situation with Daniel Naroditsky and certain questions which he is answering or non-answering. We will try to figure it out now. But this whole situation, everybody seems to, I mean, not everybody, but some forces seems to try to pretend it never happened, but actually it's not finished. I mean, there are still questions to answer. Definitely, and more people, I can see it in comments and on internet, more and more people are wondering what is happening, and they want to receive an answer. It's not like me even personally, but now quite a big amount of people want some explanations. But of course, all Chesscom friendly channels, just like a very like orchestra with a conductor who made this, which means stop, and just they stopped completely writing about it. But I will not let it go so easily, because still questions are still there hanging. And so I will talk about it today. But first, the story today, which started, I just saw this tweet today of a person. I don't know actually who is this person. I really don't know. But he was publishing some videos. He made a YouTube channel exposing chess cheaters. Well, maybe it's a bit too pretentious name, but still, it's an interesting channel. And he published this almost cult video already on Daniel Naroditsky, but in general on the whole situation with cheating in the world of chess. A very talented one actually made it in a style like using Matrix movie. I mean, this scenario, and making actually a very nice, very interesting watch, like 20 minutes. And he was publishing some very short, actually not too much of videos from the Twitch of Daniel Naroditsky, from his live streams. And today he published this tweet. I will read it for you. Copyright strike against my video was filed unfairly by Naroditsky. Claimant admitted that his actions were motivated by personal feelings, not by copyright concerns. This seems like a misuse of the strike system to suppress fair use criticism. Because he mentioned me in this tweet, so I saw it today. So let's see now what Daniel Naroditsky, he personally, as I understand, wrote to this gentleman, man, I guess, or woman, I don't know. So what he wrote to him personally. I don't usually communicate with haters. Well, this is actually the first thing, which is very much, I'm sorry, Daniel style, is immediately to set people. I mean, I guess he doesn't know also who is the person. He expresses his opinion. Okay, maybe different opinion than Daniel. Okay, but he is not insulting there. I didn't see in this video any insults. And asking, questions. You might find it. Again, you might have different opinion of it, but I mean, I don't think it's correct immediately to say that somebody who is a different opinion of you, that means he is hater. Not necessarily at all. So it's not a goodwill start to my understanding, but okay, anyway. I don't usually communicate with haters, but will make a small exception. I will keep it brief so as not to waste any of your valuable time. Yes, I filed copyright claims on a few of your videos. Obviously, you used large segments of my YouTube videos without permission. I'm not sure about large, first of all. Secondly, I will explain you later, it's happening all the time with everyone. Anyways, but I would not have bothered with the claims. Were those videos and your activity as a whole so single-handedly driven by hate and malice? Again, yeah, very harsh words. I don't see, I mean, any actually reason to believe it's hate and malice. I mean, but okay. Anyway, I wouldn't personally write like this, but doesn't matter. Okay, it's his choice. To your central claim, I have this to say. If you believe that I'm guilty of cheating, you are incorrect. Well, maybe. I mean, who knows, yeah? I mean, but would be nice to answer some questions, some very direct, clear questions. We will come back to it later in this video. If you believe that the will, I don't know this word, frankly, my English is not wild, yeah? Absurd clockfish nonsense that you spread around is anything other than what it is, hate, trolling, an excuse for like-minded individuals to continue their tireless and obviously futile attempts to drag me into the mud, then you might consider seeking psychiatric assistance. Okay, yeah, again, this very passive-aggressive, I mean, victim-aggressive, yeah, behavior, well, with insults. Okay, let it be his. He is accountable for this kind of language and way to communicate, but well, it's not my problem. I just don't like it, to express, instead of just very factual, direct, few answers, to write so many things and not extremely polite, let's put this way. Okay, never mind. So I read further. Were you simply shouting into the void, or I a lost wouldn't bother? But your channel became a repository and gathering place for hundreds of hateful comments. Well, I have to say it's, I mean, your channel, Danya, and many others also became a place of hundreds, thousands of hateful comments, let's say, in my direction. It is internet, I'm sorry, it is internet again. Well, there are many channels. People are not always, unfortunately, very polite. I try to clean my channel from those people who are expressing, hatred and insults in anyone's direction, actually. I try, when I have time to do it, but, you cannot blame a person. Then I can blame you, Danya, as well, for a lot of hateful comments on your channel. So it is nonsense to blame a person for that. I'm ready to turn the page, and I'm sick of this, primarily because I have played cleanly for my entire life and did absolutely nothing to deserve any of this. Well, again, there are still questions to answer. I personally don't claim you are cheating, but there are some evidences and, some serious questions which you must, I believe, answer to the public, not even to me, to the public, and we will again talk about it later. Cheating is a big problem of chess, blah, blah, whatever. My final communication, leave me alone. Again, the person is just making his videos. It's his full right to do it. Okay, it's not like doing it every single day. Also, is not insulting you. So leave me alone. Well, maybe I believe you shouldn't tell to people in general what they should do. Yeah. Anyways, I would appreciate an apology for your constant slanderous messages and videos, but I won't demand it. Okay. As a token of goodwill that you have certainly not earned, I've chosen to not copy strike your Spice Together video of me playing Vlad. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors, Daniel. So, I didn't quite understand finally. Yeah, then there was an answer of this person. I think it was here. So here he wrote... answering this letter, by addressing the intent behind the strike, I'm highlighting the misuse of copyright laws to avoid accountability, which directly supports my argument for fair use. YouTube has already accepted my appeal, which should be enough argument for whether the appeal was legitimate or no. So let's see the continuation of the story. I think that there was nothing insulting, there was no lies in this video, and I don't think there is any reason for this video to be banned from YouTube. So let's come back to this now. For the moment it is like this, video unavailable. Let's see what will happen further. But I can tell you that there are, let's say, it's a very typical in general behavior, that people are using a bit parts of each other's content if it's done to explain your point of view. Let's say, I don't think there is anything wrong with it. I mean, because if we start to block, to copyright, each other, well, Hikaru was using a lot of also. I mean, I was using my content. I was using a bit of his content also, and I mean, just to prove my point, And he is trying to prove his point, even though I have a lot of questions about the how he is doing it, and I can prove that it's not according to reality very often. But anyways, this is a usual practice. So it doesn't mean that you have to always, if we start claiming copyright on every single video, every single fragment, it's going to be, we're just going to come to censorship on internet. So I don't think it's a correct way to do, even if person has different opinion on you. I will show you some examples here, for instance, but it's actually something which is, for example, I recently fall into this article. There was this very well-known story when Hikaru playing this Bullet Championship, the finals against Alireza Firouzja. He started to insult him. I mean, to use very bad language towards him. Was a kind of big hit, this story and this video. So even there is some newspaper, or I guess it's an internet resource for esports. And there was an article, Hikaru Nakamura faces backlash after offensive remarks against Alireza Firouzja. The point is that when I started to read it, then suddenly I realized this thing, okay, they're telling about the story, making some screenshot, but the video they wanted up, video unavailable. The video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by chess.com. So chess.com, there's so many videos on internet of different small parts of chess.com, what happened on the platform, and all of a sudden they decided to claim copyright on this exact one, which is actually telling, just showing what truly happened with their face and their beloved, let's say, promoter, Hikaru Nakamura. But there are many you can find on internet from many different people. For some reason they are not claiming copyright. So it's pretty clear, that I believe in general you shouldn't have the to try to block it on just because you are not happy with the message of a person. But okay, anyway, it's a story, just like I got this idea after seeing this, and I got this idea to record the video because I want to come back to this story and explain you that there was some strange things. I understand that Daniel, he doesn't want to come back and to answer any more questions, and I will try to explain you, in my opinion, why it is happening. And I will explain in my position why I'm still, and many other people, I suppose, I see it in comments on internet, that they just would like to get a very clear, simple answer. Because, Daniel is saying in this letter also that he never cheated and so on. Maybe, again, it's possible, but then why wouldn't he give a very, very simple, straightforward answer on some very easy, very direct question? And I'm now going to explain you why. Because when I was, the story probably already, that he was using the engine during speedrun game. Okay, of course, yes, as he claims, just once. I will not run before, ahead of the train. I will explain, I will show you something now. So the story, and there is still a question hanging in the air. Dani, did you do it? Did you ever do it again? I mean, was it the only time? This question, in fact, is not clearly yet answered. And this is very important. I mean, there is nothing simpler to say no. Yes, it's the only time I've ever done it. Let's see if it ever happened. Actually, to my understanding, it never happened yet. He never yet really clearly said no. Okay, let's investigate it. Let's see his interview, and maybe I'm not understanding something. But actually, as I understand, his latest two answers to this question were not the same, and they were not definite. So okay, why if it never happened again? Why you cannot just give a definite answer? And that's why I'm actually, with this video, I'm just trying to ask this very clear answer. Yeah, if possible. I mean, because I don't see any reason why not to give a clear answer. So let's see first check the stream. This one from this debate or whatever on the Russian speaking channel of Levitov YouTube chess. First they spoke together, two of them, and then I joined accidentally, actually, quite it was not planned. I joined the conversation, but at the beginning I was not there, I was not present, but there was an interesting moment when Ilya Levitov is asking very directly this question. It's in Russian, but I will translate it to you in English so that you see very clearly the answers. And it's a bit strange what is happening, because to my understanding, the next, like in couple of days, the answer which Daniel produced, or you will see it also later, was not the same answer. Okay, let's see. So this is the part of no, it's not this one. So this is the part. Yeah, by the way, just that you understand. Yeah, you see here. Okay, people are using, I don't know, for example, this channel. They are using our streams. Yes, this is from my stream, my camera. So what? Every time this as well. Yeah, and many other on internet. So what? Every time it's happening, I have to claim copyright or block it by copyright. It's not very, most of the time, because Chess.com is influential and people want to be nice with them. And of course, being critical of me is a big part, I believe, nowadays of being liked by Chess.com. So, and have prospects maybe as a streamer or blogger or YouTuber. So there are many videos which using my content and actually criticizing me. It's okay. Let them do. I mean, it's their business. So, but you will find a lot of this. So yeah, I don't have any idea to start, claiming copyrights of those people. Well, maybe only if they directly lie or insult. That can be another story, even though so far I didn't do it. But definitely not just because they're having different opinion or whatever reason they have. So this is the video. So now there is a moment, I will translate it in English, when Ilya Levitov, he is asking very direct questions and receiving a very kind of strange answer, quite contradictory in my opinion also. This is the first part, and the second part will be what Danya was, answering on the same actually question a couple of days after. So let's go. I will translate it to you.
Ну, мы сейчас не будем его показывать, чтобы не впадать в это все. Значит, ты играл партию, и, расскажи, что произошло.
So, Ilya is asking, please tell us what happened.
Чтобы наши зрители тоже знали, да. Что произошло?
I will just translate the most important things. I mean, really, because sometimes Danya starts to talk about something which is not related concretely to the matter. So I will translate only what really is about this issue, this question, which asked by Levitov. So let's go.
Подожди, давай я не хочу отвечать вопросом на вопрос, но давай я отвечу вопросом на вопрос.
Давай.
Есть вот какая-то группа людей, которая уже...
Well, he's telling I want to answer. First he's asking that I want to ask to give you a question in exchange to your question. There is some group of people who believe this. I mean, this is not really like relevant. Yeah, I mean, you can listen to it, find it, maybe try to translate it in English. But I mean, I don't want to take your time, and I want very clearly, I mean, answer on this question.
И это меня, кстати, очень расстраивает. Мне кажется, это важно упомянуть. Мысли включать движок во время...
there
И
it
это
starts.
меня, кстати, очень расстраивает. Мне кажется, это важно упомянуть, потому что это одна из моих главных претензий. И я могу
претензия?
к этому вернуться. Ну, ты не спрашиваешь про отношение Владимира Борисовича к спидрану.
I don't understand. He is saying that he's telling something that this is why what I don't like, my main like complaint. Ilya is asking what complaint. He's saying because you are not asking Vladimir Borisovich what he thinks about speedrun, something like this about speedrun. So I don't quite understand what he meant. But okay.
Сейчас. Я могу рассказать, что было как бы в моей версии.
So now he says I can tell what happened in my version. Okay, I mean, I guess what do you mean in your version? You know the truth, yeah, Danny. But anyways, okay, let's listen.
То есть какая моя
Ну,
версия?
я это и
How is my version?
спросил тебя, да.
Yeah, Ilya is asking. Well, that's exactly what I'm asking you.
Значит, ну, обычно спидран происходит поздно, то есть я играю партию, я никогда даже мысли включать движок во время спидран партии не возникает.
Yeah, so now he's telling, yeah, that's important, yeah, because there are a lot of things which do not like fit together. He's saying usually speedrun I'm playing late, I guess late in the evening he means, and when I play it, I never have even an idea during speedrun to switch on engine during game. Okay, yeah, that is a statement. Let's continue.
Вообще даже близко.
Not even close, he says.
Но чесбейс у меня включен.
But chessbase is on. That's another point. You can see my videos. Okay, anyway, that's later.
Я сыграл одну партию, ее проанализировал на чесбейсе, показал там какие-то показательные примеры. Чесбейс я minimize, он у меня на...
So he said, I played one game, I showed some examples, some variations, and I minimized chessbase. Okay, that makes sense.
вот правом мониторе,
On the right monitor.
знаменитом. Там третьем, четвертом, пятом монитор. Сколько у меня мониторов? На потолке еще один. И начинаю вторую партию. Ну, он
And starting second game.
зевает ферзя, ферзь d7, не буду пересказывать там то, что все знают.
He blundered the queen, so that doesn't matter. Everybody knows it, saw it already.
Короче, я побил ферзя, и он высиживает. Там 7 минут высиживает.
So I took the queen, and he's taking time, just thinking. He has a lot of time.
И вот в этот конкретный день я потерял терпение.
And in this concrete day, I'm trying to, not like others, which they were trying to translate this interview, but I'm trying to be very precise, word by word. In this concrete day, I lost my patience. In this concrete day, I lost my patience.
И очень хотел посмотреть вот один определенный момент.
And wanted very much to have a look at one particular moment of this game.
Который возник после 8 ходов.
Which happened after 8 moves.
Который никакого отношения к позиции на доске не имел.
That has no relation to the position on the board. Yeah, that's of course.
Там конь на g5, вопрос был, надо было его бить или не надо было. И у меня есть доказательства, я могу показать в чесбейсе мою историю.
Yeah, that's he's telling I have a proof. I can show in chessbase my history.
Что я ввел эти 8 ходов.
That I entered these 8 moves. I mean, that is, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't show anything because Danya after was analyzing this game in chessbase during the stream. So of course the moves are in there. It doesn't prove at all that he entered this move at that particular moment, and he knows it. I mean, it just has no relevance at this point. Of course he has it in the chessbase, obviously.
В chessbase, как может сделать любой гроссмейстер. Никакой специальной программы у меня нет.
So he said, I don't have any special program. It was done in chessbase, like any grandmaster can do. Yeah.
Включил движок.
I switch on the engine.
Смотрел, можно было бить или нельзя, я уже не помню, не суть. Выключил.
checked if it was possible to take on g5 in this game and switch it on. Switch it off.
И, естественно, в голове у меня это вообще не было каким-то большим событием.
And of course, in my head, it was not really any big thing to do. I mean, first of all, it's quite contradictory to the fact that Daniel just a minute ago said that it never during speedrun even occurred in my mind, in my brain, that you can switch on engine. Now he's saying that he switched it on and actually it was nothing so special in his mind. So how does it fit? Okay, let's go further.
Что Крамник намекает, что я спалился.
So he said that Kramnik is giving hints that actually it's difficult to translate this word in English. It's a bit of a slang Russian word, like, when you revealed something which was not planned to be revealed, something like that, yeah.
Что я настолько пронизан читерством, что
that I'm so like invaded by cheating.
Это уже для меня нормализировано, что
that it's like normal for me. Okay, this is just insinuations, of course, that I didn't tell.
Вот я случайно сказал, что он включен.
That I accidentally said that it was on. I believe it was the case, but okay, this is, just an opinion, matter of an opinion.
Но это противоречит настолько вообще всем.
Подожди, а что вы там вырезали?
But this is contradicts so much to everything, and then Ilya starts to speak. I mean, I don't quite understand why it contradicts, because you just told, even though at the beginning you said that I never had an idea to switch on engine during speedrun, then next you said that actually I mean it was so like normal for me, it was nothing really special. So I don't know to what it contradicts, Danya. Maybe choose one of the variation. But okay, now Ilya is asking question.
Расскажи, вот вы там вырезали эти 20...
Yeah, now Ilya is saying, okay, you cut this 20 seconds, so what, why, and so on.
Секунд, когда...
Во-первых, не вы, а мой редактор сам вырезает просто куски, где мой соперник думает. То есть ты можешь...
Yeah, now Danya is saying, okay, first of all, it's not us, but my editor, who is just cutting the moments when my opponents were thinking.
Посмотреть любую другую серию, и там ровно то же самое.
He said, you can watch any other stream of mine, and it's exactly the same everywhere.
Это никакого отношения не имеет к тому, что я в это время ввожу ходы. Что я...
He says, it doesn't have any relations to the fact that I'm at this particular moment entering my moves. Well, maybe, but it's exactly this moment for some reason, and during this game, which was quite like altogether half an hour with explanations, there were only 2 moments were cut. Only 2 is this 20 seconds. And there is one other moment when he just actually very soon after he tells that he is he sees the engine, and then people start to complain, and then 10 more seconds there, everything else is left. Okay, maybe coincidence. Well, okay, let's see.
Я и делаю.
То есть ты во время партии... А зачем ты вводишь ходы во время партии? Тебе же потом все равно придется еще вводить оставшиеся ходы.
Well, Ilya is asking why do you enter moves during a game? Because you will have to actually... why do you enter? Yeah, you will have to enter the remaining part of the game. So...
Нет, я копирую партию целиком.
He said, no, I'm copy-pasting the game, which is true, but you cannot copy-paste during a game. So, so that's why you have to enter moves. Yeah, that was the point, that and it takes time, and actually probably more than 20 seconds, but okay, it's another story. So, Daniel is answering that I'm copy-pasting the game usually, but that you can do only when the game is finished.
Подожди, а зачем ты тогда вводишь ее в...
So he still doesn't get why then you are entering the moves manually in this particular episode.
Через бейс во время партии?
Да нет, я ввел первые 8 ходов, чтобы просто посмотреть...
He's saying, okay, I just entered first 8 moves just to have a look at the engine, what it's saying about the opening phase of the game.
Это определенный момент.
То есть ты во время партии... я понял, то есть ты во время партии ввел...
Okay, Ilya is getting the point.
Чтобы посмотреть, что движок говорит по поводу конкретной позиции.
Соперника дает ферзя, он уже был без коня, он дает ферзя, пару ходов до мата, и у него там 7 минут, он высиживает. И вот
Okay,
много
he's more or less repeating the story.
времени мне приходится уделять
там 20
на
секунд прошло.
разглагольствование.
No, Ilya is saying, but that was just 20 seconds which were cut, yeah?
Какой 7 минут высиживать, когда там 20
Ну, у
секунд
него на
прошло?
часах сколько-то там, 6-7 минут. Я уже думал, что он сдастся, но он продолжает ходить.
He's saying that, okay, well, he was expecting resignation, but he continues to play moves and to think
Так что и вот, типа, он не сдается. Меня бесит, когда не сдают.
that I'm kind of feel disturbed, I mean, angry when people do not resign in such positions. Well, I don't know, strange, because I guess when you play with amateurs, it's very, well, it's quite typical situation. But anyways, okay.
Поэтому я вот в этот конкретный момент
Therefore, very important, in this concrete moment,
вот хотел посмотреть, но
I decided I wanted to have a look.
что важно понять, Илья, что
So now he says, what is important to understand, Ilya?
для меня спидрановские партии, во-первых, намек на то, что мне нужен движок, чтобы
Now he's saying, okay, this first, he says that, first of all, the whole idea that I need engine to win this position, queen up, of course, it's not the point. I'm sorry, that it's clear it's not the point. The point is actually, it's not even the point that, well, it's, of course, it's wrong to put the engine during speedrun game, but it's not even the point of this particular use. The main question is, was it the only time? This is the main question. But okay, so now let's listen. Now Danya starts again to contradict himself in a way, in my opinion. Let's listen.
реализовать перевес 1100 с лишним ферзем и конем.
Не, в этом тебя никто...
Yeah, so Ilya, of course, said, no, of course, we are not complaining about the fact that you wanted this engine just to win this game where you queen up. Of course not.
В этом тебя никто не обвиняет.
хорошо.
Тебя обвиняют в том, что он у тебя просто всегда работает.
No, he said that you actually, we like, well, he's saying that you're accused of, which is not true, not accused, but asked, but anyway, of the fact that it can be that it's just permanently running your engine actually during speedrun. Yeah, that's partly true. Yeah, that is the question I want, and we all, I guess, want to clarify if it's permanently running or not.
Во-вторых, тот факт,
He says in second.
то есть люди, которые считают, что я не смогу признать, что это ошибка или что это глупость, или
Нет,
что
ты
это
уже
нельзя
признал.
было делать.
He said, well, like people, he starts who believe that I cannot admit that it's a mistake. Well, Ilya is saying, well, you already admitted, yeah?
Я признал это в тот же момент, когда это произошло, то есть
He said, I admitted it the same moment when it happened,
когда видео вышло.
when video appeared. Okay, let's listen very carefully what he said.
Начали писать в комментах.
He said, there were, well, people started to write in comments.
Там ты что, больной на голову,
Are you crazy? Are you mad?
что ли? Там ты комп включил на
You switch on engine
Радистского.
during a game. So, which is kind of proves my point. Of course, it is crazy. Actually, I mean, crazy not in the medical sense, but I mean, it's really incredible to switch on engine during play. And Danya saying that for him it's kind of normal, that it doesn't, you know, in this particular episode, because it's speedrun, whatever, but it doesn't matter, speedrun or not, it's strictly allowed, it's strictly forbidden also in speedrun. So it's kind of strange. I don't get his logics, but let's continue.
И вот у меня было две мысли. Первая мысль — удалить видео немедленно.
And said I had two ideas. First idea, I had to delete immediately the video. Okay, I understand.
Вторая мысль — почему мне это видео удалять? Я ничего
Second, he said, I mean, I was thinking, why should I delete this video?
неправильного как бы в моральном смысле
I haven't done anything wrong morally.
не сделал. И я придерживаюсь этому. Я нарушил правила.
I violated the rules.
Это неправильно. Я
That is
создал
wrong.
впечатление для начинающих шахматистов, которые могут неправильно понять
Because beginning chess players, amateurs, they can misunderstand me.
меня.
Да.
Что это нормально иметь
Вот.
движок.
That it's normal to have an engine during game. Actually, that's true. I mean, that is a problem, that you cannot do it, especially in educational stream, because you're influencing a lot of kids, you know, for them, they would, you know, somehow they can think that it's kind of normal to have engine. But okay, that is not the main point. But still, so he continues.
Вот тебя неправильно и поняли.
He said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. People didn't understand you correctly.
Принимается.
He said, accept it.
Но,
But-
Илья, любой здравомыслящий человек, который вообще что-либо знает о спидране,
Yeah, now he says, every sensible person, I mean, common sense person who knows something about speedrun, of course, I also know, we are knowing, I mean, people who know something about chess, understands that.
понимает два важных пункта.
two important
Можно
points.
я их как бы опишу?
I would like to express it.
Ну, первое.
First,
Первый пункт — это что для меня спидран — это не настоящая партия.
for me, speedrun is not a real game. Well, maybe, I don't know, what do you mean real game, not real game? I mean, for your opponents, definitely it is. But okay, I will let me continue, just translate it. So, Danya says, for me, speedrun is not a real game.
А это как бы урок.
It's as if a lesson.
То есть это урок с учеником.
So, it's a lesson with a pupil. I mean, it's again, I'm sorry, I just cannot keep continue translating, but sorry, you're playing a game with somebody, you know. For him, it's not a lesson. Maybe if people are watching you live or you after publish, but it's a game. It's a competitive game. I mean, maybe not for rating or for money, but it's a game. Yeah, you play a game.
Ну, в этом смысле, то есть в этом случае ученик — это и есть чат.
He says in this case, the pupil is chat. Yeah. Okay, but you're playing not with chat. You're playing with opponent who doesn't know. Yeah, Danya. Sometimes whom he is playing. Okay.
Рейтинг, как ты знаешь, возвращается.
As you know, rating is given back to these people, but okay, this really, sorry to comment, doesn't matter. Who cares if he gets back his few points of rating? When you play a game, you want to fairly compete, yeah? So, I mean, doesn't matter what level you are, even if you're amateur playing a top grandmaster, but you still want to play a game. So it doesn't matter if the rating is back or not. In my understanding, who cares so much? But anyway, let's continue.
Моим соперником, потому что, ну, они играют с гроссмейстером. И
Because they play with grandmaster. Okay.
я делаю им какой-то ущерб в этом смысле.
And I do a bit of damage in some sense to them. Well, you don't do any damage if you play fair, but I mean, it's kind of a bit strange. Yeah?
То есть в этом и заключается как бы сделка. То есть я
So you said this is the point of this deal, so to say.
играю с ними партию, они не всегда знают, с кем они играют.
So I play a game with them. Sometimes they don't know whom they are playing.
Но в замену я выкладываю видео,
But in return, I publish then a video
которое имеет поучительный контент.
which has educational content. Yeah, but when he plays, he doesn't know whom he is playing. Okay, maybe he will not watch your video, but any person wants to play a game. Yeah, so I don't get this. It is still a game. I mean, it's a competitive game. I mean, my opinion, it's clear. And if it would be just a lesson, it wouldn't be forbidden to use engine during speedrun games, no, logically. So I don't get the logic, but again, let's continue.
Но для меня это как урок с учеником.
But for me, it is like a lesson with a pupil. Wow, I mean, Danya, it's your personal opinion, or you can see it any way you want, but there are rules, and for everyone, it is still a competitive game. It is what it's considered to be on chess.com. I mean, maybe you have a right to consider it the way you want, but if you don't violate regulations.
Я часто с учениками играю там какие-то отрезки партий.
He says, very often with pupils, I play some parts of the games.
На втором мониторе я могу анализировать все, что хочешь.
And at the same time, in the second monitor, I can be analyzing anything I want.
Там какой-то дебют, следующую
Opening or next game,
позицию, которую я дам.
or next position.
У меня даже мысль не создается там, что это во время партии я...
Said again, he repeats, I don't even have an idea in my mind that during a game.
А как ты
поэтому
хочешь,
я-
чтобы мы в это поверили?
I mean, I also don't say. I mean, one thing is your lesson, private lesson is you. Another thing is it's not private; it's a competitive game. So I don't get it. So Ilya is asking, but how do you want then that we believe you?
Я твою
I don't get your logic.
логику вообще понять не могу. Просто вот ты говоришь, там иногда у меня движок
You say, okay, sometimes you have engine.
работает. Здесь я его включил,
Here I
потом
switch it
решил
on.
что-то вырезать.
Then I decided to cut part of the video.
То есть ты понимаешь, ну как бы ты...
Подожди, где там у меня
He says, you understand? Daniel is asking, what do you mean about the engine?
движок работает?
Ну вот ты говоришь, ну, когда вот в этой самой...
Нет.
He said, okay, but in this particular game. Daniel said, no.
Вот в этой
Ну, в
самой...
этой самой...
Да,
Ну,
в
и
этой
ну и
самой
что? Ну,
партии.
продолжай.
So continue.
Нет, ну если ты один раз это сделал, почему ты хочешь, чтобы мы тебе поверили?
Yeah, it's a very logical point Ilya is asking. He said, if you have done it once, why do you think that we must believe you?
Вот если бы пришел Крамник,
I mean, then he said, okay, if Kramnik would not find any episode of this, it's one story, of course, but you kind of have done it once already, so...
и сказал, я проверил все стримы Народицкого, ничего
Смотри.
там не нашел. А так
Ну.
вот он это, значит, вытащил.
He said, okay, Kramnik found it,
И ты теперь говоришь, не,
Ну,
ребят,
отвечу.
and now you say, no, guys.
сейчас, подожди, я еще не
Ответите?
спросил.
Daniel says, I'm ready to answer. Ilya is saying, well, I didn't yet ask my question.
Я еще не
Да-да,
спросил.
говори.
Я еще не спросил, на что ты собрался отвечать. Я говорю, что если ты это сделал один раз, ты нам говоришь, я этого никогда больше не делал. Или ты это делал.
Yeah, now we get to the main point because that okay, you have done it once already. It's proven, yeah. So and you say that you have never done it again, or you've done it. Yeah. So now we get to the most important. And listen carefully. I will try to be as precise as possible with my translation. Now,
Ты сколько раз это
делал.
делал?
how many times did you do it? Please tell.
Расскажи, один раз за всю жизнь?
Once in all your life?
В официальной ческомовской партии один раз за всю жизнь.
Now, very interesting answer. Exactly, word by word. In an official chess.com game, once in all my life. Okay, we got that is word by word the answer.
Я говорю про урок с учеником, где
He said, I was talking about the lesson with a pupil,
мы играем неформально, неофициально.
Не, это
where we are playing not formally, not officially.
понятно. Это я не обсуждаю.
на
Я
честь
говорю, вот
доски.
He said, yeah, this is clear. I mean, so do you understand? I mean, as I understand, Danny is saying that when he has a lesson on chess.com, private lesson with a person, then he can do, of course, yeah, correct. But as I understand, he said very clearly that he never done it any other time during any game like speedrun or any other game on chess.com. Yeah, then this episode. That's what I understood. I mean, it is as I think so. Yeah, but let's continue, and then I will show you that in 2 days he is using very different language.
когда ты играешь с людьми, они же не знают, что это спидран.
Yeah, Ilya is saying, okay, when you're playing with people during speedrun, they don't know it is speedrun. Yeah, sometimes.
А иногда знают, иногда не знают.
Ну,
Так,
давай-
вот так.
давай
То есть,
Saying, okay, sometimes they do, sometimes don't. Ilya is saying, okay, let's imagine a person doesn't know.
Положим, что не знает. Вот человек
Предположим, что не
играет.
знают.
Человек играет, с ним
О, как он-
подрубили.
He said, okay, then what is it that the person is playing, and then his opponent, well, switched on engine. Yeah, he's using slang for this word, but yeah, switched on the engine.
С ним подрубили комп. Значит, в выигранной позиции. Неважно, какая позиция.
It doesn't matter in what position. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter in what position. It's a fact matters. Yeah, for the person who is playing you. Yeah, who is playing Daniel here.
Я не подрубил комп.
He said, no, I didn't switch on the engine. I mean, in this using this slang, but it means I didn't switch on the engine.
Я не подрубал комп. В выигранной
смысле?
позиции я
He said, what do you mean? What do you mean?
не использовал комп в позиции на доске.
He said, no, but because I didn't use the engine to analyze the position on the board. But okay, you know, Ilya is asking, did you switch on the engine? It actually, this expression means switching on the engine. So, I mean, it's like, well, of course you switched on, you admit it. But yeah, then he's saying that Daniel is saying that he didn't use it for the actual position, but it doesn't dismiss the fact that you switched it on at some point.
То есть для меня это,
I mean, that was my explanation. Let's listen.
во-первых, для меня это важно, но
А какую
это
ты
He said, first of all, for me it is important.
смотрел? А откуда мы знаем какой-то там...
Yeah, and Ilya is saying logical thing. That's what I also say. Even though I quite sometimes disagree with him, but I mean, actually, also during this interview, but he's saying, okay, but how can we know what kind of position did you look at? Yeah, logical. Yeah. I mean, it's not about just explanation. Trust me, I was checking something else. Maybe, but the fact is a fact that engine was running.
позицию смотрел?
Ну, я могу тебе показать в моей ChessBase истории.
Again, Daniel said, I can show you in my chess-based history. I already explained you this just doesn't prove anything at all. And I'm sure Daniel knows it very well, but okay.
Что я смотрел определенную позицию после...
So he is saying that I can, it is just, I'm sorry, but it is not, it is a manipulation. Because he is saying that in my chess-based history, I can show that I was watching this particular position, which was not the position on the board. No, in chess-based history, afterwards, nothing, you cannot prove it. I mean, that it was exactly as he says, but okay.
8 ходов. Вот,
Not
вот.
the most important. Yeah.
Я смотрел определенный момент.
Said I was watching this particular moment. No, I mean, again, it's not, Dani is not like answering the arguments. Ilya is saying, okay, yes, you tell this, I can tell something else, but there is no proof, yeah, and there is only one proof that, I mean, that is already my explanation. That the engine was on, and okay, so we just have then after to trust you, maybe some trust, some not, but it's about facts, yeah.
Во время дебюта. Это никак не оправдывает то, что я это сделал. Это не важно, в принципе.
So he says it doesn't at all, excuse to what I've done, and it's not important in principle. Ilya is now saying, well, I'm sorry, everything is important in this case, yeah.
В принципе, все важно.
Важно разделение между партией спидрана и реальной партией.
So now he's saying that what is important is to divide the speedrun game and the real game.
У меня никогда мысль во время реальной партии...
He said, I never have any idea during the real game now to switch on the engine. Yes, but the first thing he did, he was telling this about speedrun game. He was telling at the very beginning, if you remember, that he didn't have this idea, never would not have idea during the speedrun game. So it's not the same now. And now he said you have to divide those two things. Sorry, I mean, can you clarify, Dania, what exactly do you mean?
Который я играл с другим гроссмейстером.
So is that okay? When I play with other grandmaster or on chess.com for money, not for money, I never have this even idea of switching on engine.
Или не в поучительной атмосфере, а
or not in an educational environment. Then he never had this idea. Okay, but here he had this idea. I don't know.
Включить движок даже не появится. То есть для меня это два разных мира.
For me, it's two different worlds. Maybe for you, but for most of people, speedrun is still a game. For regulations, it is still completely forbidden. Yeah. Okay, it is an explanation. Let's go further.
Спидран это не партии, которые я играю в турнире, или не партии,
Speedrun is not a tournament play or some play with strong players.
которые я играю в ческоме. Это урок, который я...
It is a lesson. Again, it is. I'm sorry. It is a lesson for you, for people who are watching you. For your opponent, it's not a lesson. He doesn't know it's a lesson.
даю. И все равно это, естественно, не годится в плане имиджа, который это
And he said, anyway, of course, it's not correct in the sense of image,
создает людям, которые это смотрят. И
which create to people who watch it. Yeah, of course.
поэтому, Илья, я решил не удалять этот видео. Ты
That's why I decided not to delete this video.
заметил это? То есть этот пункт как-то вот осмыслился людьми. То, что я этот видео решил у себя в канале оставить,
So he said it's important to understand this point that I decided to leave this video on my channel
с извинением.
with
И решил
with the excuses
его не убирать. Потому что для меня, во-первых, я ошибся, я не
because he says first of all, yes, I made a mistake.
не хочу создавать впечатление, что
And I don't want to give a impression that
я, не знаю, веду себя безошибочно.
that I'm faultless.
Да, я ошибся, я признался
Yes, I made a mistake. I admit it.
в этом, и я считаю, что в этом ничего как бы стыдного в этой конкретной ошибке нет.
And I believe that in this particular mistake there is nothing shameful.
Ты приводишь аналогию, ты
And then he continues that some analogy. So this was the first video. This was the first video. What did I understand? I mean, I would also like to. But I think it's pretty clear. I mean, even though he's not putting it straight, but as I understood it, he says, okay. Even though there were some contradictions, but all in all, most likely what he means, I would of course appreciate more clear direct language, but what he means that actually I never ever switched it on during speedrun game. Also, this is at the beginning what he's saying, that it never even had occurred to his mind. First he says in the speedrun game, then he says in other games, and there is a big difference between speedrun and regular games on chess.com with strong opponents. By the way, you can also fall in speedrun to a strong opponent. But anyway, whatever. Its logic is not like flawless, but then he said that he clearly stated that it was the only time I switched it on in a competitive game on chess.com. I mean, so I understand it like this. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to understand differently. Now let's listen. Then there was my interview on which here I will now show it to you. So there was this interview with this guy, Must Reader, who was playing hopefully free lawyer of Daniel Naroditsky. Was very pushy, not very respectful, frankly. Also, yeah, then he changed, by the way, the name of this video, telling that, okay, after this video, Kramnik blocked me. No, this is also not true, because I blocked him because he promised to publish something in this video, some part, you see here, Kramnik blocked me after this podcast with him. It's not true. Again, I really blocked him, but not because of this podcast. I mean, it is true factually, but the point is that it's a manipulation, because I blocked him because he promised me, and I even published a screenshot on my Twitter. He promised me to do himself. I asked him, I can provide it to you. He said, no, I will do myself, to publish very concrete moments which are important, which what were part of my claims, and he didn't do it finally. He just published some very, very low down hidden link to my whole video, but we agreed on something different, and that's why I blocked him. Also because he, he was very biased, obviously, because, I mean, we spent like 2 minutes in this video, actually, because he factually stated not true, on purpose, not on purpose, I don't know, that Dania was in time during this examination, which he decided at some point to show during this video in Russian on Levitov YouTube channel, that it's possible to make it in 20 minutes to install those moves. And by the way, the difference was that the chess base was already on open, and in this episode when he explains it to Levitov, he's telling that it was minimized, so you have to first maximize it, then install moves. And my claim was that it's very difficult to do it in 20 seconds, even if you believe that the very next second when the cut was made, he immediately started to do it. So, you know, I would use Occam Razor here, of course, but everybody can have their own opinion if it's true what his story, what he explains. Dania, but then he stated that he offered himself to make this experiment, and he managed to do it in 20 seconds. Well, which is not true, simply. I mean, it took him 24 seconds, actually. You can see its video on live on this channel, that it took him 24 seconds. So, and then I told him, you know, Greg, but just cannot state it as fact, which is a provably wrong. And then he's trying to dispute few minutes with me that actually, no, I just mean like, no, you're right, you're wrong because it is true. I mean, like I said, come on, 24, I was told it's more than 20. Yeah, he was not in time. It was like driving me mad because, these people, they just don't care, about reality. They care about to be right. Yeah. And then he said, yeah, but I meant that if he manages in 20 seconds, in 23 seconds or 24, probably he would manage it in 20. I said, okay, it's a questionable point, but it's your opinion. But don't state as a fact that he managed it, because he didn't. And then, okay, he finally disagreed with me, so and so on and so on. But later, when finally I'm talking about it, so I'm asking this question. I publish on Twitter, and I will going to do it today. Again in the second part of my video. That okay, Danny, just answer this very simple question. Was it the only time? Very clear, yes or no. Very simple. Was it the only time during speedrun games or any other games on chess.com that you switched on the engine? Very simple. But without 10 minutes of vague explanations and 5 minutes of insult towards me. No, just very simple question. And then Danya, he stopped responding as if he's, as if there is nothing still to answer. And I said that, okay, I'm still waiting for the answer. And then the author of this channel, he told, yeah, by the way, I contacted Daniel Naroditsky and he sent me his answer on this question. I said, okay, fantastic. Let's listen to what he's saying, and let's now listen. And actually, I'm now puzzled at all because to me it seems to be not completely, but pretty different answer to what he gave publicly on Levitov Chess.com, on Levitov YouTube, channel. So let's listen to his answer. He's reading his own answer, which he sent to this so-called gentleman. Okay, so let's listen.
I can confirm that and here are the responses to the question. A. Have never used an engine during an active competitive game.
So, have never used an engine during an active competitive game. Okay.
And B. Push back on the speedrun episode very strongly, because as I explained in my C-squared part, the speedrun to me is not a competitive game.
So, okay, now it's different. So he says that for me, speedrun is not a competitive game. So logically, the logical continuation of this, it means that he's leaving the space. He doesn't tell that he used it many more times or one more time. But actually, so now it's not the same answer. So now he's saying that, okay, since speedrun is not a competitive game, which is not true, it in his opinion, but it is a competitive game, it is official game, you are not allowed to use engine during these games, and this is well known. This is written in the rules. So now he's saying, I didn't use in a competitive game, but speedrun I'm not considering as competitive game. That's all. So how do we understand it now? Okay.
In bold. It is a
Yeah, I noticed it immediately. I said, but
lesson in bold. I often ask chat for their move recommendations.
So now he's saying that a lesson, as I understand, during speedrun. Let's listen again. That he's asking a chat for move recommendation. Okay.
Have never used an engine during an active competitive game.
Okay.
And B. Push back on the speedrun episode very strongly, because as I explained in my C-squared part, the speedrun to me is not a competitive game, in bold. It is a lesson.
So it is a lesson. No, it's not a lesson, Danya. I'm sorry, it's not. It's for you a lesson, not for your opponent. No, it is just absurd. Maybe you think like this, but nobody thinks that it is just a lesson. People who play with you, they're very often not even knowing that they're playing you. No, I'm sorry, this is very weak explanation. So now let's listen. So he says, it is a lesson. Let's listen.
In bold. I often ask chat for their move recommendation.
So I guess he means that during speedrun, he often asks chat for their move recommendation. Well, sorry, chat, by the way, can use the engine, but okay, anyway, okay.
For this reason, I believe it to be very disingenuous to use it as an example that, quote, I'm capable of cheating.
I mean, of course, everybody's capable of cheating first, but secondly, let's see the fact. Danya knows very well it is against the rules. He knows, he tells that he apologized, he knows that it's bad example. Yeah, so now first he was telling, as I understand, in Levitov interview that he never used it other than this particular concrete episode. Now he's telling that, now he's telling different thing, so that he never used it in a competitive game, and speedrun is not competitive game according to him. So our conclusion that he leaves the space, he doesn't say directly, he leaves the space that actually he was maybe using it in speedruns, which is already, repeatedly, probably because he knows now already it's wrong. He admits it's wrong. So I don't get, do you understand the logic? Do you get it just makes no sense all to me. What is all this? So now I want very clear explanation. Finally, Danya, just tell us very clearly. And this will be the second part of my video when I will ask, I will even write it for you. Very simple question. Please tell us, did you use it other than this episode in speedruns or any other games? Because speedrun is a competitive game, sorry, this all your explanation, it can be your point of view, but it's not shared with chess.com, with other people, and with regulations. It is still a competitive game, like any game you play on the platform. Even if you play without, you can play with no rating, for to choose to play without rating, but you still cannot switch on the engine. It's very obvious, to everyone. So now we come to the part 2, and I will show you something very, very interesting. So about one of the experiment which I did. So for the moment, I think it's long enough already, this part. And the conclusion of this part that, sorry, Daniel, you're complaining that I'm and others are asking questions, but you are not really clearly answering what is so difficult to tell very clearly what happened. How many times? Often, not often, never. Very clearly. In speedrun, not in speedrun. Okay, just tell us. Don't make this kind of vague things, leaving space like this answer. In my opinion, it's leaving you a space to change your position. Okay, sorry, that is the truth. So that is why I guess now you understand that. Okay, it's not really an answer, because and I'm very suspicious, frankly, why you are like giving these answers very vague instead of just telling very concretely, very simple things. So that will be second part. Thank you for your attention.